Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Fox.
Yesterday, the Rays and Orioles had a long day at Camden Yards, splitting a double dip, with Tampa Bay taking Game 1 behind a stellar performance from Alex Colomé, and Baltimore powering its way to a win in Game 2 with Nick Hundley and Nelson Cruz going deep. Today, former Oriole Eric Bedard goes to the hill against the red-hot Adam Jones and the O's. This afternoon, we welcome you on a beautiful day to the city of neighborhoods, Baltimore, Maryland, at Camden Yards. The Rays and the Orioles in Game 3 of this 4-game series. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Rays Baseball. With Brian Anderson, I'm Dwayne Stapp. So good to have you with us. Todd Callis will join us throughout the afternoon as well. A split in the doubleheader yesterday. The Orioles in the middle of the battle in the American League East. They're led by Adam Jones, who is having a very hot month of June.
Absolutely leading the way for this Baltimore offense. When you look at what he's done in June, the average approaching 350. He's at 343 average-wise, 8 home runs, 18 runs batted in. And yesterday was really a tale of the month of June for the Orioles. The first game, Adam Jones 0 for 4. They dropped that game. In the nightcap, Adam Jones made the Rays pay. 4 for 4, a couple of doubles, and Baltimore wins that game. So right now, Adam Jones kind of leading the way, and opposing pitchers are having a hard time finding a safe area against him because he seems to be covering everything.
Well, that's the challenge that the Rays left-hander Eric Bedard will have today. We'll have a matchup of two lefties, Bedard against Wei-Yin Chen.
Yeah, and you know, when you look at Wei-Yin Chen, he's getting a lot of run support. He's pitching on the right day, 7-2 record, 3.84 on the earned run average, and Eric Bedard 3-5, 4.25, and he'd like a little bit of revenge. His last start, you remember, he was victimized by the grand slam off the pole by Chris Davis. A 5-run third inning did him in. He'll be looking for payback this afternoon.
Last year, the Rays dominated this season series. It has been a turnabout this season. They have dropped 8 of 10 to this Baltimore Orioles ball club. Rays and the Orioles coming up in just 2 minutes and 10 seconds. In the doubleheader yesterday, the Rays took game 1 5-2. The Orioles game 2 4-1. So they'll square off, these two clubs here. 82 degrees. And today's lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. For the Rays, Desmond Jennings, Vince Zobrist, and Brandon Guyer. The DH today is Evan Longoria. James Loney hits 5th in front of the third baseman, Sean Rodriguez. Logan Forsythe, Ryan Hannigan, and Kevin Kiermaier round out Joe Maddon's lineup today.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon for the Baltimore Orioles is left-hander Wei-Yin Chen, making his 16th start of the season. Pretty impressive record right there, 7-2, 3.84 earned run average. He's coming off of a start. His last time out was against Chicago White Sox, pitched into the 6th inning, 5 2/3, 3 earned runs, no decision. The Orioles did win that game, and the previous start actually was against the Rays, and he pitched into the 7th. Impressive baseball, 3 earned runs, and no decision in that game also, and the Rays won that. Let's take a look at the defense as it lines up behind Chen today. In the outfield, left to right, we have Steve Pearce, Adam Jones, and Nick Markakis. Across the infield, third to first, Manny Machado, J.J. Hardy, Jonathan Scope, and Chris Davis. Caleb Joseph will be behind the plate.
Well, here is Desmond Jennings stepping in to lead it off against the left-hander. Jennings continues to hit out of the leadoff spot for the Rays. And he begins this day with an average of .235. First pitch from the lefty, presented by Pinch a Penny, and it's in there for a strike. A fastball in around 92, and that's about where that fastball averages. Sometimes a little over that.
Well, Chen, more of your finesse lefty, right-handed hitters. He likes that fastball, curveball, changeup. Throw the slider also.
The count goes to 2-1 to Desmond. See the splits on Chen. Lefty's hitting .345 off him, but the long ball from the right side, 12 home runs, all from right-handed hitters. And there's a high shot deep to left, and there's another one. Home run from Desmond Jennings on a 2-1 pitch. And the Rays break out in front on Jennings' 7th home run of the year. And that's not unheard of for Chen. He is prone to a lot of first-inning home runs and hitters leading off innings. A disproportionate number of his home runs come in those circumstances.
Well, and you're going to give up home runs when you throw 2-1 fastballs right there at the thigh, middle of the plate. Desmond Jennings goes deep. You know, that last start that he made against the Rays, Ryan Hannigan got him for a 2-run blast. Yunel Escobar, a solo shot. So the Rays have popped a few on him, and he's just not overpowering. He's going to be out over the plate. It's up to him to pitch to the edges and vary the speeds on his pitches.
1 strike to count to Ben Zobrist. The fly ball straight away center, and Jones is there waiting for this one. Let's talk about those leadoff home runs against Wei-Yin Chen. In fact, he gave up a home run on the very first hitter he ever faced in the major leagues when he joined the Orioles in 2012. Derek Jeter homered off him right here at Camden Yards. So a lot of the damage happens early against him in innings and in games. Brandon Guyer takes a pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. It's fouled back.
Well, the one thing that you have to look at is now 89 1/3 innings pitched on the season for Chen. He has just 14 walks. That's just a little over 1.4 per 9 innings. So teams know that he's going to be around the plate. He's not a huge sinker type guy, so they're going to get pitches to hit.
This one popped back into center field. Jones coming in for this one. 2 outs. Well, as we mentioned, he's given up now 13 home runs this year. 9 of those have been to lead off an inning.
And that's trying to settle in. You know, get that first out, throwing a lot of strikes. And he fell behind Desmond Jennings. And, you know, he's also, again, a finesse type of lefty. And sometimes it takes them a little while to get into the groove of a ball game and inning. Once they do, they can be very difficult to deal with. But until then, you get some opportunities.
Evan Longoria takes a strike. This one is down 1-1. Home run had to feel good for Jennings. He had gone 0 for his last 12 before connecting for that home run. There goes the bat. Look out over the top of the Braves dugout into the stands.
Now that's the one thing, when Chen gets going, that's what he can do. As you see the fan right there with the Evan Longoria model. Not a bad one to have.
And Evan's going to trade him a bat here for the gamer. Ball, 2 strikes. Popped up right side. It's Davis, the first baseman under it, making the catch. Rays are out in the first inning, but they get a run on the leadoff home run by Desmond Jennings. It's 1-0 Tampa Bay. Look at the lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Nick Markakis, Steve Pearce, and Adam Jones. Cruz, Davis, and Hardy down the middle. Machado at third. Scope hitting 8th, and Caleb Joseph will catch and bat 9th.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon for the Rays, left-hander Eric Bedard making his 14th start of the season.
And he faces Nick Markakis. First pitch is inside. Eric Bedard, the former Baltimore Oriole, broke into the big leagues in a Baltimore uniform. Ground ball down to first, handled by Loney, unassisted, 1 away.
Well, let's set the Rays defense for you as it lines up on this gorgeous afternoon. In the outfield, left to right, we have Brandon Guyer, Desmond Jennings, and Kevin Kiermaier. Across the infield, third to first, Sean Rodriguez, Ben Zobrist, Logan Forsythe, and James Loney. Ryan Hannigan will handle the catching duties.
And just to set the record straight and make sure that that youngster did get the exchange, there is the bat. Apparently it's being stolen again. There's a line drive off the bat of Pierce up the left field line. He's around first, on his way to second, and he will beat the throw. Pierce continues to be a nemesis to Rays pitching. He has been murder against the Rays, and there's a double his first time up in this game.
Now Baltimore looking to answer the Rays run in the top half of this inning, and Steve Pierce got a ball out over the plate. See the delivery right here by Bedard, belt high, and Steve Pierce just ropes it right down into the corner. Tell you what, though, good effort out in left field by Brandon Guyer to get to that ball quickly, force this head-first slide by Pierce, who was hustling out of the box. But, that's the other thing that we'll see. Brandon Guyer, defensively, a lot of effort out there. Both of these guys in the corner, Kiermaier and Guyer. And he got to that ball and did it very well.
Pierce came in hitting .381 off Rays pitching, and has a double his first time up. Now here's Jones. Adam Jones. And the breaking pitch is in there for a strike. The slow curve at 68 for a strike. Jones hitting .302. Third in the league in total hits with 99. One and one.
Well, right now with Adam Jones, the way that he's swinging the bat, .343 average here in June, 8 home runs, 18 runs batted in. He's still only walked 4 times. So he is doing his damage with the swing. And you've really got to move the ball around the zone, change speeds on him, because he's locked in. He's covering just about everything that you can throw up there.
The way he's hitting the ball this month, he is laying claim to the month. It'll be known as Jones June, not to be confused with the former Atlanta Falcons SMU football coach June Jones. Breaking ball in for a strike, and it's 1-2. And with Matt Wieters out of this lineup with Tommy John surgery, this might be the key guy, not only with what he can do with the bat and the glove, but sort of the heart of this lineup now.
Well, look around. Nelson Cruz, this is his first year here. Chris Davis, he's struggling right now. Adam Jones, he's your centerpiece, your rock out in center field. Gold Glove, having a great month. J.J. Hardy, kind of your quiet leader, down there at shortstop. So absolutely. And Adam Jones, he's one of those guys, that effervescent personality, likes to have fun, talkative.
Bedard just missed with that one.
Well, that was it. Eric Bedard, the fastball to the glove side, is a pitch for him. When he's able to spot that up, he can be so effective, and that was awfully close, and it was the right pitch after some off speed to kind of slow Jones down a little bit, then pop that fastball in. Almost got him.
Bedard, 35 years old, originally up with the Orioles for a couple of games in 2002. Pitch blocked by Hannigan. He really put it together for them at 06. Bedard was a 15-game winner here for Baltimore, 15 of 11. Followed that up in 07 with a 13-5 record.
Those are the 2 big years for Eric Bedard. Overall, here at Camden Yards, he is 20-19. ERA just over 3.7, and that's in 58 starts, now 59. But yeah, his 2 big years came as an Oriole.
Jones, a little roller back to the mound. Bedard takes a look at third, where Pierce was already on his way to advance, and Jones is out at first. Bedard to Loney, and I think the backswing of Jones got a little piece of Hannigan.
Well, he's trying to get out to this curveball. We've seen him lengthen his swing. And, yeah, caught Ryan Hannigan as he comes out of that crouch right on the helmet. And watch him going for the curveball. Try to lengthen and reach it.
Well, you talk about a good reason to have that helmet now as a catcher. And something that's a relative latecomer to catching equipment. Boy, it came in handy right there.
Boy. And you can see concern even on Adam Jones as he's running to first base, looking back to see if Hannigan was okay. You think about some of those old guys, you know, they would just wear their hat out there, turn it backwards and throw a mask over top of it.
Yep.
In the front, they'd crack your skull for sure with that.
Strike the count. And even with that, you have to be concerned about the potential for concussions. Even taking a shot on the helmet like that, but you're, as we can see here, way better off than the era you just described. A tough job catching today. Maybe even tougher back then. A little bit inside. It's 1-1. Cut the miss by Cruz. 1-2.
Well, Eric Bedard able to subtract with that curveball, get that into the upper 60s and really slow it down, get a hitter out in front, out of rhythm. And that's what you have to do against this Baltimore lineup. It's a powerful lineup. Pitches out over the plate they can hurt you on, so you really need to mix speeds, mix locations. Try to keep them as off balance as you can.
And there is strike three call. He found that corner with the fastball to get Cruz looking. No runs to hit, one left, 1-0 Rays. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. By Checkers, big Philly flavor, small price. Checkers Philly cheesesteak and the new Chicken Philly, each just $1.99. And by Deliver Us from Evil, in theaters July 2nd. Rays got a run in the first on the leadoff home run from Desmond Jennings. We go to the second inning. James Loney will lead off against Wei-Yin Chen. Then Sean Rodriguez and Logan Forsythe. Loney takes the first pitch. A little bit away. 1 ball, no strikes. Loney homered his first time up in the night game of the day-night doubleheader last night. That was the only run the Rays were to get in that one. Loney's 4th home run of the season. He's 3 for 6 in his career against the left-hander Chen. And now 3-0. Here's last night's home run.
Off speed, stayed middle in, and James Loney drops it on the other side of the fence. And he does have surprising power when he gets into one. You know, his game is to try to spray the ball around, use the whole field, hit for a high average, but when he wants to turn it loose, he's got some juice.
He takes that pitch, a strike. 3-1.
And these are the type of situations that you'll see him do that. 3-1.
Full count.
James, if he feels like he's able to eliminate pitches and has a pretty good idea of what he's going to get, you'll see that aggressive swing. If not, then he is very balanced at the plate and will hit the ball where it's pitched.
On the ground to Scope, the second baseman. Ground ball out to begin the second. That'll be Sean Rodriguez. Sean getting the start at third base. His home run totals, 7 home runs, so his slugging percentage at .460 right now. And he takes a big cut, misses, strike 1. He's in there against the lefty. Does have a career home run against Wei-Yin Chen, one of his 2 total hits off him. One ball, 1 strike.
And Sean Rodriguez very aggressive up at the plate with his swing, as you saw on that opening changeup by Chen. That's why you see the 7 home runs, but just a .204 average.
Down in the count, 1-2. 4 of those 7 home runs off left-handed pitching. Fouls that one out of play.
And that's where he's going to get the majority of his at-bats. You know, he has gotten some playing time against righties, and actually, you know, well, 4 of the 7, 3 of the 7 coming from the righties. But for the most part, Sean Rodriguez is a guy that you're going to pencil in there against lefties that, you know, you feel that he's a good match for.
Foul ball holds the count. And a ball and 2 strikes.
And he's another guy that obviously not an everyday player, but when he gets his opportunities, he's going to make the most of his swings. He's going to play high energy defense for you when he's out in the field. Can be aggressive on the base pass, sometimes too aggressive.
There's a base hit, sharply hit to the right of Hardy and through into left. Well, he's up there searching, especially, you know, you see his cuts, and especially against a left-hander, he's up there to do some damage and hits the ball hard, as he did there through the hole.
Well, he finally got a pitch that was out over the plate, and he fouled off a couple of tough ones and finally got something that stayed out and over. And you're right, hammered it right in that hole.
Logan Forsythe. High. Forsythe getting the start at second base in this game for the Rays.
Well, you got a completely different look on the infield. You know, a couple of reasons. First of all, long day yesterday. You know, Evan Longoria is going to DH. Yunel Escobar, who's still in limbo. You're not sure when he's going to get back onto the field, and yet you're not DLing him, so you're playing a man down with Escobar. So that forces Zobrist over there. Then you've got to put Forsythe out at second. So you got a completely different look.
Yeah, there's Escobar.
You just wonder how long they're going to let that situation go on and play one man down, because you're not able to do anything at this point, but yet he's not on the disabled list either.
2 balls and a strike.
I'll tell you,
a little shoulder issue is the word that you get about Escobar. He was apparently running in the on the field before the game and had a little leg issue, it appeared.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not really sure what is going on there. I do know that that this is the trip that if you've ever needed.
High fly ball deep into left center. That's got carry, and it's gone. 2-1 pitch, and Forsythe hits this one out of here off speed and hits his first home run of the year. Rays lead 3-0.
Well, that new look infield doing some damage here. Logan Forsythe, that finally off the schneid, getting that home run. And that's a big one too. Takes that Rays lead out to 3. Off speed middle. Right into the swing.
So Forsythe making his 34th start of the year, his 19th at second base. Connects on a 2-run blast.
We're getting back to the Escobar deal. This is a tough trip for the Rays. 11 games, 10 days, American League East opponents, and the Detroit Tigers. You need a full complement of players for this trip.
1-1 to Ryan Hannigan. Yeah, you don't want to play a man down anytime, but especially inside your own division.
And teams that you're looking to gobble up some games against here in Baltimore, up to New York, and then the Tigers no slouch themselves.
Yep. Well, they've been the power of the Central Division, getting a little push from Kansas City this year. So it's a tough schedule here on this road trip. Well, ball 3 to Hannigan.
A lot of bad counts for Chen. You're not seeing any walks, but you've seen a lot from behind, and that is not his game. That's not how he's going to be able to survive very long, pitching like that.
Fly ball lifted toward left center, angling back is Jones to catch it for the second out. Well, we saw him get hurt on that changeup, and that's not necessarily one of his primary pitches. You'll see it occasionally from him, not rare, but occasionally, and certainly not all the time.
Yeah, and and when you think about Logan Forsythe, when you've seen him and taken a look at his swing, the soft stuff that's out over the plate is doing him a favor right now. Not that Chen's going to be able to blow him away, but you move that fastball around. The changeup, if you're going to go to it, you've got to make sure that it's in a good spot, because that's the one pitch that he can hurt you on, and that's exactly what he did.
And a visit there from Dave Wallace, the pitching coach. Let's take another look at Forsythe.
Well, watch this changeup travel right into the swing, middle of the plate. And you can see by the swing right there, not fooled at all. Everything was on time. And how about this? This is now Chen's 11th start against the Rays in his career. In the previous 10, he'd given up 3 earned runs or fewer in 9 of the 10. Already sitting at 3 right now.
He almost hit Kiermaier with a pitch right there. 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, an earned run average under 3 in those 10 starts at 298. The Rays have 3 off him already.
And the strange thing is all of those numbers very, very good. The team's record in his 10 starts, Baltimore is 4-6 against the Rays, and down now.
That evens the count on Kiermaier. bit wide there. Full count. Rays playing with a long ball here in the first couple innings. Kiermaier pops it up, foul. Davis and Joseph after it. Joseph near the dugout and just came up a little bit short. He had to hurry to get over there and couldn't find himself in proper position to really make a play on that one.
And he may have been going the longest distance with lugging around all that equipment. That ball wasn't hit that high. Oh boy, as a pitcher, it's tough to see that one fall in. That's one that you want to bounce off the mound and try to make a play on, because it was going to be very difficult for Joseph how far he had to go and how not high that ball was hit up in the air. A little jam shot.
There's a liner the other way. Kiermaier's aboard around first with an aggressive turn, but he'll hang on. Boy, out of that batter's box in a hurry, just in case Pierce took a little time fielding that ball. Kiermaier has a hit against the lefty.
Yep, and right here, watch this ball down and away. Look at the swing by Kiermaier. He just lengthens it, shoots the ball the other way. That's very well done. You can't pull that pitch. You'll ground that right to second base and end the inning. Hit it the other way, and then the full out hustle. And don't think that those scouting reports don't get around to where these outfielders now know when Kiermaier gets a ball out into the outfield, you had better get to it quickly and get it in right away, or he will try to take second on you.
Jennings up here taking the first pitch away.
And I know that we talk about it a lot, but when you do that, you add the element of pressure. And when you add the element of pressure, you will see mistakes made. A bobble in the outfield, he'll be on second.
Yeah, that's one of the unheralded advantages of speed and hustle, because you do force the issue sometimes against the opposing defenders.
If they know they can drop to a knee, field it, and toss it in, it's a lot easier to do that than to get a ball that's been hit pretty well out there, field it cleanly, and get it in on a rope. You'll see more mistakes made.
Jennings pops it up on the infield, middle of the infield. Hardy, the shortstop, has it. And the Rays settle for two. Coming on the home run, the two-run shot by Logan Forsythe. We got to the bottom of the second inning, and the Rays now lead 3-0. Bottom of the second inning. Take a look at our Toyota trend the last couple of seasons as Chris Davis prepares to lead it off. Still a major threat, but a drop off this year compared to the monster season he put together a year ago when he hit 53 home runs.
Well, what you see right now from Chris Davis is a lot of holes in his swing. You can go down and away from him. Baltimore Orioles, the hitting coach Jim Presley's been working on with him to try to stay close because he's starting to fly open a little bit. The swing has gotten a little bit loopy.
Two and one. Well, you can see there where you want to stay away from that hot zone.
And I think I would take exception to that 333 up and in, because I don't think, unless that's a couple of breaking balls that found their way up there, the fastball above the hands close to him, he cannot get to.
Pitch is in and the count is full. Well, he did get to that pitch up and away to the opposite field when he hit the grand slam at the Trop off the foul pole. And there's a nice pitch. How about that? 3-2, and he gets him looking. A nice little bend in that one.
And you go back to that home run on that grand slam the other way, and that's just a testament to his pure strength. Because that ball up and away, he just kind of waved at it and just kind of caught it. It went down the line. It hit the pole. It wasn't necessarily a great swing by him, but that's the thing. If he runs into one, he's got that huge amount of power. And that's why you got to, if you're going to go soft with him right now, you've got to make sure it's nowhere near the middle of the plate, because that's the pitch he's most likely to do damage on.
J.J. Hardy, a strike on him. Ground ball headed up the middle and through into center. Bedard gives up his second hit, a one-out single in the second by Hardy.
J.J. Hardy, another guy whose power number's way down.
Yeah, just one home run. He had that long homerless stretch, and that's after 3 years of pretty good power, including a 30 home run season 3 years ago.
That was 30, 22, 25, and in that time frame he had led all major league shortstops in home runs hit, and now here you are closing in the end of June. That's not the case.
Machado ground ball short. Zobrist Forsythe one over to first for two. The Rays turn the double play for the 43rd time this year. Through two, 3-0 Tampa Bay. It's a 3-0 lead. Ben Zobrist will lead it off. Let's take a look at our GMC big matchup. And Zobrist in his career against Chin, impressive numbers. .345 for Ben Zobrist. A home run in that mix. So Zobrist, Geyer, and then Longoria due up. Rays got a run in the first inning on the Jennings home run. 2 more in the second on a home run by Logan Forsythe. Slow breaking ball is called a strike to start the at bat. Two.
When Ben is saying both of those, I'll give you one of the two, but not both.
It's foul outside the bag at third. Rays coming into this series last in the American League in total runs scored, and after yesterday's activity, their 14th starting play today. There's a base hit dropping in front of Jones. And Zobrist is aboard with a leadoff single. Let's check in with Todd Callis. Todd?
Yeah, Dwayne, to further what you guys were talking about with Yunel Escobar, the Rays were expecting him to swing today in the batting cages, but the true test is going to be tomorrow. That throwing shoulder with some tightness in his shoulder, he's going to test it tomorrow throwing. There you see him today with Kevin Barr, the strength and conditioning coach, going through some running drills out in the outfield. Joe Madden would like to have a decision made, though, by the time the team gets to New York. Either Escobar will be ready to play against the Yankees, or they may have to consider a DL situation, as he has not played since coming out of the game Tuesday. Guys, back to you.
All right. Well, here is Geyer putting down a bunt, picked up by Joseph. This plays to first. He took a look at second base, but Zobrist arrives safely up there. So Joseph down to Davis. That's a sacrifice for Geyer. Geyer hustling down the line with the first out. That's the thing about this team today. You like the spirit you see out of this bunch.
I love this team out there today. You know, Sean Rodriguez getting an opportunity to play down at third. He's going to bring it. You know, Zobrist loving to play shortstop. He's going to do his thing. You got Forsythe out at second. Your corner outfielders, Kiermaier and Geyer, high energy guys. I'll tell you, these guys want to be out there and fun to watch.
Well, it shows. Here's Longoria DHing today. Takes a pitch high. You know, some of those guys who aren't everyday players sitting on the sideline itching to get a chance to play.
And when you put them out there together, sometimes they're all looking at each other like, hey, we're all playing together today. I mean, there's a certain amount of excitement that comes with that, not just one.
A 1-1 count. And in what has been a difficult season for the Rays, it's fun to observe that esprit de corps, if you will, out of a group on the field for the Rays here.
I will if you'll explain to me, if you translate.
It's a spirited bunch.
Okay.
Happy to be out there.
Yes.
And they show it.
Yes, they do.
2-1 here, the count to Evan. Zobrist in scoring position. Rays trying to add on to their lead. Evan takes ball 3. Longoria has been among the league leaders hitting with men in scoring position. He's 5th in the league at .338 coming into this game in that situation. And as we know, it has been difficult overall for the Rays this year with men in scoring position. A little better in a handful of games recently, and he walks with first base open. He'll fill that vacancy. Longoria at first and Zobrist at second.
Well, Chen is just really struggling right now, getting anything consistently going. He's been behind quite a bit. A walk right there to Longoria. Just has not been sharp with really any of his pitches. The fastball's been missing. A lot of the off speed has found its way to the middle of the plate. You got to tip your hat or your helmet, if you will, to the Rays for capitalizing. Early lead and more trouble.
I will. Loney worked the count full the first time and grounded out. Check swing and a roller toward the dugout. And strike the count. Rays just 2-8 against Baltimore this year. And that's made a big difference for the Orioles. They start the day a game and a half behind in the American League East. They're running second. If the Rays had just split those first 10 games to go 5-5, the Orioles actually would be a game under 500. That shows you the difference a single series can make in the East. There they are.
Well, this is a team that the Rays dominated last year. You know, Baltimore 6-13 versus the Rays last year, already with 8 wins this year. Big difference.
Fouled out of play. The count now 1-2.
When you look at the big reason why, it's been the offense. In the 10 games against the Orioles, the Rays have scored 24 runs. Do the math on that one and realize that's not going to win you a whole lot of games.
Fly ball. It's Jones in center, taking care of that one. 2 outs with men at first and second. As we were discussing where the Orioles are in the East, the Blue Jays game just became final, so they're a game back now.
The Blue Jays are scuffling.
Yeah, they lost. They scored a run in the bottom of the ninth, but fall a run short to the White Sox 4-3.
Well, they had their work cut out for them anyway, because I believe it was Stroman against Chris Sale, who was 6-1.
Yep, Sale the winner. So he's now 7-1. At the start of the day, the Blue Jays, the Orioles, and the Yankees were all even in the loss column, with Baltimore a game and a half back and New York 2. Now with that Toronto loss, the Baltimore Orioles are 1 game back. Sean Rodriguez in the batter's box. Pitch is a strike on the outside edge.
I think it's a shock for everybody, too, just how mediocre the American League East is this year.
That's right.
Been so strong for so long, but like you mentioned yesterday, no one has seized control of the division. 3 of the 5 teams are in the bottom 3 or 4 in scoring runs.
And a shot deep down the left side, but foul. That's what's really made it doubly frustrating for the Rays. Tough to go through the kind of season the Rays have had, but in a division where no one really has taken charge, even if you falter a little bit, if you don't get too far behind, the thought was, well, you still have a chance. Usually as a rule of thumb, if a team's going to be a contender in a pretty good division, you lose 10 in a row, it's tough to recover from that. But you really felt that despite that bad stretch the Rays had, they might have a shot to do that. And it gets tougher and tougher with each passing day. And as we mentioned, talking going into the second game of the doubleheader last night, what the Rays would have to do, they were going to have to go something like 53-28 to get to 86 wins, which would put them 10 over 500, and hope that that would be enough. But that's still a torrid finish to do that. Swing and a miss. Rodriguez out on strikes. The Rays lead 2 and lead 3-0. to tweet your photo using hashtag SunSportsFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Jonathan Scope, the second baseman, will lead it off. First pitch is a strike. Caleb Joseph will follow, and then Nick Markakis. 0-2, big cut on that slow curveball. Well, when a pitcher has great command of that pitch, it's so effective. A great addition to the toolbox of pitching. And fun to watch a guy who's got a pitch like that.
Especially against a lineup like this. You know, the Baltimore Orioles, they're not going to walk. They're a very aggressive team. They see the fewest pitches per plate appearance of anybody. And so when you can slow that curveball down like that, they just have a hard time staying back.
Put on the ground to Rodriguez at third. Sean throws a strike to Loney. 1 out.
Anyway, then if that pitch is effective and you're getting strikes with it, then your 88 to 90 mile an hour fastball has that much more jump on it. Where these guys, you'll start seeing them swing and you'll swear it's 92, 93.
Then you really get back to the pitching element of this game. And that's why a left-hander who has good command of his stuff doesn't necessarily have to be overpowering.
Yeah, being able to use both sides of the plate and having an idea on how to pitch, how to set up a hitter, how one pitch sets up another, and how that may lead to something else. Back and forth, up and down. That's it's an art form.
And if Bedard has command of his stuff, which so far he's showing that he does, but if he does, that bodes well against this team for a couple of reasons. Number one, it will keep his pitch count down and play right into how aggressive, as you point out, this Baltimore lineup can be. And with that, you're hoping then that you get a performance where the starter can pitch more than the 5 innings essentially that Bedard has averaged.
Yeah, well, you look over his 13 starts, he's averaging just under 5 innings pitched per start.
Yeah. Well, and before he knows it, the pitch count catches him.
That's it.
But if he's got nice command and he's got an aggressive lineup to pitch against, he can pitch into the 6th, 7th inning.
It's hard to be this deep into a season in starts and still averaging, 19 pitches an inning. That is tough to do.
And that's what he's done.
Yeah. And if you could be around 15 or 16 and, people say, well, what's 2 or 3 pitches an inning? Well, that'll shorten your outing by an inning or 2 every single time. And then guess what? Over 30 starts, that's 30, 45, 50 innings less than you should have thrown.
There's a nice pitch that catches that corner. Joseph didn't like it. That's strike 3 call for strikeout number 3.
Well, let's take a look. Eric Bedard here against Caleb Joseph. Pitch by pitch. You're talking about pitching. Okay, ball on the inner half, strike 1. Then he goes down and away, strike 2. Comes back in. He kind of ties Caleb Joseph up. A curveball that he just nubs foul. Constantly changing locations and speeds until he freezes him right there. That is a tremendous sequence, and it's exactly what we were just talking about.
2 outs. Here's the top of the order. And he starts Markakis with a strike.
You could see the way that Caleb Joseph took a couple of those pitches and a couple of swings that he took. How uncomfortable was that at bat for him? On nothing over 90 miles an hour.
So 1-1 count. Just off the plate. Comes back in a little too close. 2-1. Markakis has been very good out of the leadoff spot for Baltimore, hitting a little over 300 coming into the game today against lefties. High fly ball deep to right. Kiermaier to the wall. He's got it. Found himself in front of the groundskeeping shed out there and then had to make a little adjustment down the line toward right center, and he made the catch to retire Markakis. We go to the fourth. It's 3-0 Tampa Bay. Game moves into the fourth, and the game today and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. It's a gorgeous day here in Baltimore. Hope you're having as much fun as we are.
Well, hey, we are having a blast, and this day is off the charts.
It's a light little breeze, clear skies. Logan Forsythe having a good time today, belting his first home run of the year back in the second inning.
Well, that would give the Rays their 3-run lead.
1-1. What we're finding out, we do spend a lot of time in Baltimore, and if it's not cold and raining, it's a great city.
Very true.
Just a gorgeous day yesterday and another one today. And a base hit for Forsythe the other way.
I'll tell you what, dare I say the last two swings from Logan Forsythe might be his best two of the year.
Absolutely.
The home run to left center, but then how about this? A ball that's away, and he's very quick with the swing. He didn't soft serve this to right field. He shot it out there with some authority. And he stays right on that baseball that's away, hits it away, aggressive, short swing.
Here's Ryan Hannigan. A curveball, he takes it for a strike. Hannigan hit one to center field, caught by Jones in the second inning. He does have a home run off Wei-Yin Chen. It came earlier this year. Up the right side, a little slice to it. One hop and into the stands. Rays facing the 28-year-old left-hander. Chen was 7-7 a year ago. 7-2 right now, making his 15th start of this season. Pitch is popped up. It's headed back toward the stands, and Joseph runs out of room, so Hannigan's still down in the count. To look at that home run earlier this year, last time he faced Chen.
Where did he jump into that? Another off-speed pitch by Chen, left out over the plate. Rays would get him for 2 homers in that game.
It was a 2-run home run by Hannigan. Escobar hit one off him. First time he pitched against the Rays was back in April. And there's strike 3 call to Hannigan. That'll be the second strikeout for Chen. And in that April outing, he limited the Rays to just a run in 6 1/3 innings. In fact, retired 12 of the first 13 hitters he faced in that one.
A borderline pitch there, and Chen gets the benefit of the doubt, burying that fastball in on Hannigan. There's those starts.
Last time the Rays scored 3 earned runs off him. A big swing and a miss by Kiermaier. A reaching swing. And a base hit the other way, his first time up there. That one on the edge. 0-2. Rays have hits in each of the first 4 innings. A run in the first, 2 runs in the second. Kiermaier stays alive with a foul ball. Mentioned last year, Chen with a record of 7-7. He missed some time with an oblique strain last year down the middle of the season, about the middle of May. Kept him out until close to the middle of July. 1-2. And then had a little knee issue, and he had some surgery to clean that up, his right knee, in the off season. And this year has pitched well, 7-2. 3-1 here and 4-1 on the road. Fly ball right field. Markakis turns around, and that one will sail out of here. Kiermaier reaching down and popping that one out. A 2-run blast. And the Rays now have a 5-0 lead.
Kevin Kiermaier doing his best work with 2 strikes. And guess what? Another breaking ball. This one being the slider, and it's not doing much sliding. And Kiermaier out there. Look at that one-hand high finish. He caught that ball, it created backspin, and that's what gave it that good carry out to right center field. And Nelson Cruz, or excuse me, Nick Markakis, just turned around and watched that thing sail out of here.
His 5th home run of the year. Markakis has a pretty good measure of right field, and he did just turn around and watch it. He knew it was gone. So the Rays with a couple home runs in this game, and Kiermaier has just given them a 5-run lead. Desmond Jennings opened this game with a home run. Watch Markakis. Well, see ya.
Couple cursory steps.
Yep. Dave Wallace on the mound talking it over with Chen, while Kiermaier talks it over with Logan Forsythe, who had homered in the second inning. So Jennings, Forsythe, and Kiermaier have all homered. Desmond Jennings looking at a strike. Now 1-1.
Well, the Rays have matched their most earned runs they've ever scored off Wei-Yin Chen, and that was, if you go all the way back to June the 1st, 2012, and that was the first start that Chen ever made against the Rays. And the last 9 have been very good. They're not treating him very well today.
Desmond behind in the count, so 2 more runs have crossed the plate. 1 out, bases empty. The foul ball holds the count at a ball, 2 strikes. Well, Chen gave up 3 home runs against the Brewers up in Milwaukee at the end of May, and 3 here at home today. Fourth time in his career that he's given up as many as 3 home runs in a game. And the count is full to Jennings. It's outside. Jennings draws the walk, and here comes Buck Showalter, and that's going to be it. So Chen pitches 3 1/3 today and departs as the Orioles make a pitching change. It's brought to you by Nissan. Get to your local Nissan store for the ride of your life and save big today. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Visit us at Publix.com. Brad Brock will be the new pitcher for Baltimore. The Rays saw him in the game here yesterday afternoon, the first game of the doubleheader, for the 14th time. Then Zobrist now batting from the left side against him. Jennings back in at first.
Boy, the throw into the glove of Chris Davis and then off of Jennings' legs about knocked him off the back. Hard throw over there by Brock. Well, we did see him yesterday and we're pretty impressed. 2 scoreless innings.
And the first pitch strike to Zobrist.
You watch him deliver the ball to the plate. He's got a lot of Derek Lowe in him with that look. Kind of short arm. He's 6'6". Good sink on the fastball.
Zobrist missed that one by plenty. Had him out in front and some depth to that pitch. 28-year-old right-hander came to the big leagues with the San Diego Padres. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Rays have 5 runs, 7 hits, including 3 home runs in 3 1/3 off Chin. Jennings back in, head first. And Zobrist is out on strikes. That pitch had some depth as well.
Yeah, he's a sinker, slider, changeup guy, and a couple of really nice ones there to bend. And that one to pick up the strikeout. He throws that right out over the plate, and then you see the finish as Ben commits to the swing and realizes that he's not going to make it.
Brandon Guyer 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Guyer had 3 doubles in game 1 yesterday. The fastball is by him. It's 1-1. Guyer went to high school in Virginia, about 60 or 70 miles from the ballpark here. Shot toward the corner. That's going to hook foul into the stands. 1-2.
Well, the thing that really stands out about Brandon Guyer and kind of the move that he's made is he's gotten more opportunities to play, and whether it be in the field at the plate, he seems to be playing the game with more conviction. Like he just, you know, listen, you feel like you belong here, and your swings are a little bit more crisp. You're a little bit more aggressive defensively going after balls.
You know, he said the other day that in his mind and his heart, he felt like he was a big leaguer. But when you get a chance to play and show yourself and everyone else what you can do, that's where that conviction comes from.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he had to adjust to his new role on the team this year. And as he got more and more comfortable, we started to see that come out. And it really started before the injury.
Yeah.
You know, and I think you're all
certainly did.
Yep. In fact, the injury was caused by playing that way. And he come in there diving, rolled over that thumb.
There goes Jennings, and the pitch fouled right back. Forsythe singled. 1 out later, Kiermaier hit the home run. Jennings walked. That was it for Chin. Rock on, struck out Zobrist. Now 2-2 on Guyer. That's a swing and a fair ball. Picked up by Joseph, but we might have that call overruled. And that's Gabe Morales down at first. And from his vantage point, he may have seen something that Jim Wolf did not. And Buck Showalter wants to talk it over with the first base umpire. Jim Wolf, the plate umpire, called it fair. The ball was picked up just in front of the right-handed hitter's batter's box. But apparently Morales saw that pitch make contact with the hitter Geyer in foul territory. We'll see. Well,
that's a fair ball.
Looks fair from here.
Yeah, there he hits the ball. It hits into fair territory. It's rolling over towards the line, still in fair territory. Doesn't touch anything. That's a bad call. That is a bad call.
Showalter heads back into the dugout, and that's one of those situations that you can't challenge it on the infield on a fair foul ball.
Interesting. I don't know how you called that from where he's at. A ball that gets hit straight down and rolls maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
Now a pickoff play at first, and they throw it away. Down to second base goes Jennings, and the Rays have a man in scoring position. That'll be an error charged to Brock on the throw to Davis at first base.
Well, this is not what you wanted to see happen. This throw, and really Chris Davis has got to come up with that. You can give that error to the pitcher, but that's got to be caught. That's got to be caught. There was no interference there by Desmond Jennings. That cannot get by Chris Davis.
Yeah, that was like that play we had in the Pittsburgh series. And they wound up changing that call. Geyer fouls it back on a pickoff play involving Ben Zobrist at first base. And it was eventually given to the first baseman here. The initial call as well to the pitcher Brock. We'll see what they do.
It's all in the setup. You know, Chris Davis is open over there at first base, and he's a right-handed guy. So he's got to reach all the way down in a way you'd like to see him a little bit more closed off.
Down to short. Hardy's throw to first. Scoop by Davis on a nice play on that end. The Rays are finished in the fourth, but they pick up a couple more on one swing of the bat from Kevin Kiermaier. It's 5-0 Tampa Bay. We go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. There's now a great new way for you to experience Rays baseball with the Rays Flex Packs. These 3, 6, or 9 game packs offer fantastic savings and allow you to select any games you'd like during the season. Purchase your Flex Pack by calling 888-FAN-RAYS or visiting RaysBaseball.com. Bottom of the 4th inning underway. Steve Pearce takes the first pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. One and one to count. Pearce, one of the 2 hits given up by Bedard. Harmony in that family, divided loyalties, but still harmony, it would appear. There you go. Rays cap, Orioles cap. And a youngster with a souvenir. Two and two. Bedard is 1 and 2 in his career against the Orioles after getting to the big leagues initially with Baltimore. Fouled out of play. And that victory over Baltimore came as a member of the Seattle Mariners in June of 2009. That was the first time he had faced Baltimore. So 1 and 2 over 7 starts at a .630 earned run average against him. Fly ball. Kiermaier calling for it toward right center. 1 away in the 4th.
Well, hopefully the difference today for Bedard is he's been given an early lead and a significant lead at 5-0, and he's had a good game plan so far against this Oriole lineup. Really doing a nice job of changing speeds and at times changing speeds dramatically, moving the ball around. You just don't see a lot of comfortable swings, at least not yet. But he looks to be in pretty good rhythm and in really good shape pitch count wise, which has been a problem for him. This is usually around 2 innings worth.
Adam Jones out pitcher first, his first time up. And he skies this one about the same spot. This time Jennings over toward right center, and he makes the catch. 2 quick outs in the 4th inning. Today's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light as Nelson Cruz approaches the plate. 25 home runs, and it's a little crowded at the top of the American League with Cruz, Abreu, and Encarnacion with 25 leading not only the American League but the Major League. Stanton with the Marlins with 21 leading the National League.
Well, how about a guy that we're going to see on this road trip, Victor Martinez with 20, and he's not been a big power guy. One of the best hitters you'll find in the game, but even those numbers for him here in the first half of the season, pretty impressive.
Yeah, we'll see him on stop number 3. The Rays at another 3-city road trip. How about that too? 4 3-city road trips before the All-Star break. The Rays have done a lot of traveling here the first half of this season.
Makes for some tough packing.
Curveball lifted into center field. Jennings right there. 3 fly ball outs. 1, 2, 3. Go the Orioles, and we head into the 5th. It's 5-0 Tampa Bay. July 15th, baseball's best gather in Minnesota as the captain. Derek Jeter takes the field in his last All-Star game ever in what promises to be an emotional and unforgettable night. Special coverage begins at 4:30 on Fox Sports 1, followed by the 2014 All-Star Game at 7:30 on Fox. Fifth inning finds the Rays' designated hitter today. Evan Longoria leading off. Longoria, Loney, and Rodriguez facing Brad Brock. Rays got 5 runs off Wei-Yin Chen. Here's a strike to Evan. Two.
Well, this Rays offense this afternoon, quick strike. You go right back to Jennings leading the game off with a home run. Forsythe, a 2-run homer. Kiermaier, a 2-run homer.
Evan pops it foul. Chased by Davis and Joseph. And Davis there to make the catch down from first base. Joseph ducking out of the way as Chris Davis came in to grab it.
Now an easier angle for Davis, and this one was popped pretty high into the air, so he had time to get down there and make that play, get Joseph out of there. Caleb Joseph, a pretty good defensive catcher, and that is why Buck Showalter is going with him on a regular basis back there behind the. I can adjust into my chair. It almost went down. At least it was better than the ice cream yesterday.
I just saw you skating away.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where you were going.
Well, I wasn't convinced that it was still behind me, and I wasn't about to try to sit down when they're right in the middle of talking.
1-1 to count on James Loney.
It was better, though, than yesterday when I was picturing myself underneath a bridge in New York City watching the United States score a goal against Belgium and started yelling goal with a mouthful of ice cream.
Yeah, you were trying to announce the goal as a switch of sport.
Yeah,
so
it did not work out well at all.
But you did a pretty good job of concealing the damage to the shirt throughout the broadcast yesterday.
Well, fortunately, it was right behind the tie. It was just creeping out ever so slightly on either side. But, just kind of spreading out like little butterfly wings.
Yep.
But you're absolutely, why I felt necessary mouthful of food. But I was excited because I'm going to watch that game. See, listen, they play at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
And we're in New York, 7 o'clock game. And I know that it's been pretty popular to watch them under bridges.
Yes.
And so I thought, why not go down there? And I'm sure that when I'm there, they're going to pop a goal in, and it's going to be mayhem.
Well, we'll have to document that. It's Pierce in left field taking care of the fly ball by Loney. The best part of that whole tie in the ice cream deal is that when it first started, there were a couple of us as eyewitnesses, and the ice cream somehow made its way beneath the tie onto the shirt unbeknownst to you. So you were wearing the ice cream on your shirt with the tie concealing it, not knowing all the damage that was taking place. And what really got messy is when you realized and started to clean it off. That made it just a little bit bigger than the original damage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how quickly it can spread.
Yeah, and not altogether proper use of good ice cream either. 1-1 the count to Sean Rodriguez. Two outs, first two men retired here in this inning, and that's the first time that's happened to the Rays today. They've always had the first or second man up there in an inning reach base.
And look at the shadows starting to mess around with these hitters. And this is not so bad. It's usually when the shadow gets out there about halfway, whenever it's decision time to try to make a swing. Because right now the ball's going to come out of the hand out into the sunlight, and by the time Sean Rodriguez is going to take a swing, it doesn't matter that it's in the shade by that time. He's already made his mind up and swinging where he thinks that ball's going to be.
Yeah, and there's a point right in front of the plate there where the hitter actually loses sight of the ball. People talk about actually seeing contact, seeing the ball off the bat. There's a shot to center field. Jones is there to make the catch, and the Rays are up and down 1-2-3. Bottom of the fifth coming. 5-0 Rays.
He's holding a 5-0 lead. Coming up on Sunday, the All-Star rosters are going to be announced, and the Rays really are hoping that Jake McGee is represented for the team because he has had quite a first half. Now, we talked to Jake before the game and asked him with the ballots being passed around the clubhouse, is now it becoming more of a reality?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of sinking in a little bit when I saw everyone's ballot on the chair, and you see your name on there. But, at the same time, I still had to go out and go outing to outing and try not to think about it too much.
So just to clarify, the roster's announced Sunday a week from tomorrow. And there is one little catch for Jake. He and his wife Morgan expecting their baby right around the 17th, the last day of the All-Star break. Last time I was out here, we were talking about Cesar Ramos and his pending birth of a child. But for Jake and Morgan, they're hoping to induce as early as the 10th, which is an off day in the next homestand. But that could obviously play a role in who represents the Rays in the All-Star game. But right now, certainly numbers-wise, Jake McGee deserves to be in Minneapolis, guys.
Yeah, he does. There's no question about that. And when you think of all of the position players and pitchers on this squad the first half, Jake McGee would absolutely be the leading candidate.
Yeah, who's been more consistent? I mean, who has been more consistent across the board and in big spots? Look at the ranks. I mean, how about the opponent's slugging percentage at 183? We just don't get anything off of him. And how about that? 37 games. He's been scored upon in 3. That's it.
Yep. Breaking ball in there. Curve ball. It's 1-2 now on J.J. Hardy. So a great job by the Rays' hard-throwing left-hander, Jake McGee. Ball's going to wind up out of play. And he's found himself closing a handful of games as well on occasion. The Rays rotating the closer's role recently, and he seems very comfortable in that role.
Yeah, and it's not for everybody. It is not for everybody. It takes a certain mindset
1-2 lifted into center. Jennings right there for this one. Hardy is the second out in the 5th.
Yeah, how many times have you seen guys that were pretty successful setup men that, you know, the closer leaves, making too much money, you know, whatever it is, and they move into that role and they just don't pan out, and yet they go back into the setup role and flourish again. You know, it's just not for everybody, and you know, there's no safety net in the closer's role. As a setup guy, you know you've got a guy behind you, maybe you're going to bail you out if things go south, but as the closer, you're it. In the last line of defense, and Jake McGee seems to have that mindset that can get it done, no problem.
0-1 the count to Manny Machado. Orioles still waiting to see the outcome of the appeal of his suspension in that bat throwing incident. They had a hearing on Wednesday, and they were anticipating something rather quickly, and I think a little concerned that they haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. Wednesday, I mean, how long does it take?
Machado is out on strikes, and 1, 2, 3 go the Orioles. We move into the 6th, 5-0 Rays. Only 2 home runs in their last 9 games. Got a leadoff home run in this one from Desmond Jennings. That gave him a 1-0 lead. Logan Forsythe belted a 2-run shot in the 2nd to make it 3-0. And in the 4th inning, it was Kevin Kiermaier hitting a 2-run blast, the 3rd home run of the day. A 5-run lead for the Rays and Eric Bedard, who has limited the Orioles to no runs on just 2 hits in 5 innings, 56 pitches for Bedard.
Well, that's what jumps out at you, the pitch count, but it's the aggressiveness of this team and the fact that he has been throwing strikes. He's been mixing his pitches well. No walks on the day. And so this day so far has set up like a dream for the Rays. Bedard, efficient, effective, and the offense opportunistic and quick strike.
First pitch strikes, 13 of the first 16 men he's faced.
Well, just take
first pitch strikes.
You just take command. You take command of that at bat. Now this is where the shadows will start to affect.
Tommy Hunter's in the game on the mound for Baltimore. And Logan Forsythe takes a pitch too low. Forsythe 2 for 2. Hunter follows Brock to the mound. Third Baltimore pitcher. Forsythe, Hannigan, and Kiermaier due up. Fastball, and Hunter can get it up there easily in the mid-90s. That one registering at 96.
Well, after Jim Johnson ended up out in Oakland, Tommy Hunter, he was going to be the guy that was going to be the Oriole closer from the outset this year. 11 out of 14 in the saves, but most of those opportunities now going to Zach Britt.
You know, and that goes to the point you were making last inning when we were talking about Jake McGee. It's not easy just to step right in there and assume that role. Round ball off the glove of Machado, who tried to backhand it, and Forsythe is aboard for the third time. Sharply hit. And that'll be a base hit, giving Forsythe 3 for 3 in this game.
Well, another, he rolls over this ball, hits it hard, and off the heel of the glove. Machado cannot come up with it. And Logan Forsythe continues to swing the bat well, swing it aggressively.
Ryan Hannigan. Big cut, a little foul ball, strike one.
Well, look at the difference between, Tommy Hunter last year, 86 in the third innings, pitched 68 games, had a 2.81 earned run average, held the opposition to a 2.23 average, and this year that average over 300, 30 hits in 24 and a third, an ERA of over 5. And I think that was the one question that you had. How would he fill that role? And it's not been as smooth as the Orioles would have hoped.
Yeah, and a great arm.
Yeah.
We've seen that time and time again. We mentioned easily to the mid-90s.
With movement. And guess what? Jim Johnson, it didn't work out so well for him out in Oakland either. And this is a guy that back-to-back years here for Baltimore had over 50 saves, 101 saves in 2 years, and went out to Oakland, and he was out of the closer's role out there pretty early in the season.
The chopper left side. Hardy will have to go to first, and out there. Forsythe moves into second because of the nature of that chop. No play at second.
Everything took so long, and Ryan Hannigan, I think he was smelling hit. Watching him run up the first baseline, he was really giving max effort trying to beat this out and get an infield hit. You see him get going. He sees, I got a shot at this. And Hardy, what did we say yesterday, always seems to have just enough arm to make the play.
There's some good hustle from Hannigan trying to beat the throw.
This is the full-out effort squad.
It certainly is.
I'll tell you.
Kiermaier. It's a strike. The Rays run a lot of lineups out there, but it'd be tempting to run this one out there again.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Listen, the last 3 at-bats were the 3 at-bats in this game for Logan Forsythe. He's actually swung the bat with authority. At times when he was struggling, it felt like he was kind of feeling for the baseball, trying to flip it out somewhere. But today, he's just sitting back and swinging the bat like he means it. And he's hit a home run. He shot one the other way. He ripped that ball up the line that Machado couldn't come up with.
An 0-2 count to Kiermaier. He had a 1-2 pitch out to right field for a home run in the 4th inning. And an opposite field single in the 2nd. Well, that pitch he takes low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Down to first. Davis takes care of that as Forsythe advances to third. As promised earlier in the game, we now have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag SunSports fan photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast Brought to you by AT&T. That is showing your colors. Now the top of the order, Desmond Jennings. Jennings has homered and walked today. 1-1 the count. Foul out of play, 1-2. It's a ball, 2 strikes here. Forsythe at third with 2 gone. And strike 3 call. Jennings caught looking, and the Rays leave a man at third. We'll go to the bottom half of the 6th inning and take another look at that strikeout pitch. Rays lead this game 5-0. Eric Bedard on the hill. Today's pitching performance presented by Volkswagen, and a nice job by Eric Bedard through 5. There's a breaking ball to start Jonathan Schoop, and that's in there for a strike. So that's 14 out of 17 first pitch strikes through 5. He'd made 56 pitches. Popped up, foul ball. Will it be playable? Loney toward the stands, and it's out of play.
It's been a real simple formula for Eric Bedard. Go to that number right there, 14 out of 17 first pitch strikes. And then from there, you know, he's been good with the slow curveball. He's rushed the fastball up there. He's just constantly changing areas that he's working in. And he's working from being out in front. Look at that swing right there by that. Listen, he's put together some sequences today that, you know, being a fan of watching pitching and changing speeds and doing things like that, you know, slow curve to start him with, foul ball, strike 2, and then this right here, fastball. Look at the swing by Schoop. I mean, you talk about emergency hack. That is not a big league swing, not even close. But that's what Eric Bedard has done to this lineup today.
And another first pitch strike into Joseph. Because of all these first pitch strikes, he has not fallen behind a hitter 2-0 all day.
Amazing.
was ahead of Joseph with that one biting down and in. Boy, 67 miles per hour and big bite to that breaking ball.
Yeah, this is fun to watch. He has got this lineup completely off balance. Just really not even sure what to look for next or what side of the plate.
And he comes right back with that 67 mile per hour breaker. Strikes him out.
Well, and the last two, he the 67 down and in for strike two, and then 67 away. And you know, the fastball has been good in and away. A couple of cutters here and there. He's been fun to watch. Really, really keeping this lineup off balance and getting some awkward swings and mixing his pitches as well as we've seen him do all season long. There's that curveball down and away. That was coming after one down and in.
It's 1-0 to Markakis. It's a strike, and it's now 1-1. So of the first 18 men he faced, he threw 15 first pitch strikes. Missed on the first one to Markakis, but comes back with a couple strikes. And again, the breaking ball.
And what's he get to? He gets to 1 and 2. And that's why first pitch strikes are great. But even if you don't, you come back and make a couple quality pitches, you're still in a tremendous count. And that breakout right there says it all.
It's fouled away. Great performance here by Bedard against his former team.
Okay, this may be the most impressive when we saw that breakout. We're 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. He's thrown 14 balls for the game.
Yep. High fly ball back into right field deep. Kiermaier looking up, and that one's going to get out of here. Markakis hits one out, and that will put Baltimore on the board. It's 5-1.
Now, if you're Eric Bedard, do not change a thing. A solo shot, big deal. And throwing the ball great. And these guys, they will hit their home runs. They now have 39 of these in June. Markakis, a nice job of pulling the hands in close to the body. That was not an easy pitch to get to, but Markakis did a nice job.
Here's Pierce lifting a high fly ball into left toward the line. Geyer over there to catch it. So just like that, the Orioles are retired. They get a run. The Rays lead 5-1. Baltimore, the Rays lead 5-1. help invade the Trop for halfway to Gasparilla when the Rays crew takes on the Blue Jays Saturday, July 12th. Purchase this ticket package and come dressed in your Gasparilla gear and receive a discounted seat in the lower level and a halfway to Gasparilla beads. For tickets, visit RaysBaseball.com/special events. Pitchers Ryan Webb, a tall right-hander, becomes pitcher number 4 for Buck Showalter in this game today.
Well, another guy out there to keep the ball on the ground, keep his infielders busy. Webb comes on for the 35th time. 2.55 earned run average, 35 1/3 innings of work. Doesn't walk many people, and like I said, he wants to work the sinker down and keep the ball on the ground.
He'll give you that sinker, slider, and changeup combo.
Much like Brock. Brad Brock, same idea. Tall, lanky, good sink, slide, change.
Ben Zobrist will face Webb here to open the 7th, and a ground ball, foul, strike 1. Rays got 5 runs off Wei-Yin Chen in 3 1/3. Brad Brock came on for an inning and a third, inning and 2/3 actually, and Tommy Hunter for 1 full inning. Now Ryan Webb. Strike 2. One and 2. Webb out of Clearwater Central Catholic. Was originally picked by Oakland in the 2004 draft. Got to the big leagues with the San Diego Padres. Spent some time with the Marlins. And now with Baltimore. And he strikes out Ben Zobrist. One away here in the 7th. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll hear from Alex Cobb, and Orestes will break down Rays outfielder Brandon Guyer. Here is Brandon Guyer, 0 for 2 today with a sacrifice. Bounces it foul, strike 1. The last few years, Webb with the Marlins busy out of their bullpen. The last 2 seasons in 65 and 66 games respectively. First year with the Marlins in 53 games. 1-1. 28-year-old right-hander. His dad Hank, a big leaguer, pitched for the Mets. Cut the miss. Guyer down on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A little bit of that one to stay alive. Guyer had a big day in game 1 yesterday, won by the Rays over Baltimore 5-2. Picked up 3 doubles. He was hit by a pitch, scored 2 runs and drove in a run with his first double. His double in the 2nd inning opened the scoring, driving in James Loney all the way from first base. Now 2-2. foul ball. Just a little bit of that one right at the feet of Joseph and the plate umpire Jim Wolf.
That's all Brandon Guyer's trying to do. Where, you know, Webb wants to get you out with a sinker, wants you to hit the ball on the ground, maybe even swing through it. And what Brandon Guyer's doing is just continuing to battle, try to foul some of those pitches off and get one that has some elevation, because a sinker with elevation doesn't sink, stays flat, much easier to hit.
And there's strike 3 call. And again, down around the knees. So Guyer caught looking.
Well, that's where Webb will make his living. That's exactly where he wants to be. And this was a really good pitch to Guyer, because it's in and it's moving in and just freezes him.
So 2 up, 2 down. Here's Evan Longoria serving as the DH in the Rays lineup. Now to play on that first pitch. So Webb has been out ahead of all 3 of these hitters in this inning. Rays saw him for an inning and 2/3 on the last homestand in the Baltimore series, in the middle game of that series. And a cut and a miss. He strikes out Longoria, strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays in the 7th. 5-1 Tampa Bay. We welcome you back to Baltimore, where the Rays and the Orioles are in the middle of the 7th inning. Rays have built a 5-1 lead in support of an excellent pitching performance by Eric Bedard, who through 6 innings has given up just 1 run on 3 hits. Has consistently been in front of these Baltimore hitters.
And you want to know how dominant he's been, Dwayne. He's thrown 14 balls on the day. Well, 5 of them came in the first inning. And since then, it's been 9 balls in the last 5 innings, including just 2 balls in the last 2 innings.
It's amazing.
That's like video game stuff. And for a guy who came into this start averaging about 19 pitches an inning. He has been in complete control this afternoon.
And the high pitch count in any one inning was that first when he made 14 pitches. He has been extremely efficient here against this lineup.
I want to see how far he can go. I only just had a shot of Brad Boxberger warming up out there, but a 4-run lead, and Eric Bedard has been very, very good and very, very efficient.
68 pitches through 6 innings. Now Adam Jones will lead off the bottom of the 7th. Then Nelson Cruz and Chris Davis due up. Jones 0 for 2, out pitcher first and out on a fly ball to center. 16 of 20 now, first pitch strikes. And there's a curveball for another one. A 68-mile-per-hour curveball makes it 17 out of 21. Jones is going to bunt that pitch and takes it low. Another curveball. 1-1.
Well, I've got no problem with that. If Adam Jones wants to bunt, go right ahead. Not worried about that. Worried about him swinging the bat. He's been swinging a hot one in June.
Well, we highlighted his June at the outset. 99 hits on the year, among the top 5 in the American League in that department. Foul ball runs the count to 1-2.
You know what really stood out in that open video of Adam Jones and all his hits? They showed 5 different hits, and they were on 5 different pitches. Fastball elevated, slider down and away, curveball middle of the plate down, a fastball away, and a changeup middle of the plate. I mean, that's we were talking about him covering everything.
Yeah, that just shows you try any pitch you want.
Yeah, I mean, tremendous cutting of the video by the boys down in the truck. But they really did a nice job of highlighting exactly what he's been doing this June, and that is just making it difficult on pitchers to find an area of the plate to go to, number 1, and the right pitch, number 2.
Bedard ahead of him, a ball, 2 strikes. And he gets him on the curveball. Big swing on the curveball in at 67 miles per hour.
Just cannot wait back on it long enough. And that has been the big pitch for Eric today, and setting up a lot of other pitches is the curveball. And the slower, the better. You see Jones still out in front on that pitch.
Well, Bedard had 8 strikeouts against Houston the last time out. He also had 8 4 starts ago against Seattle. Pitch is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Foul right back. Gets the count to 1-1. Nelson Cruz was called out on strikes back in the first inning on a pitch in. Down 0-2 in the 4th inning, and a curveball to center field caught by Desmond Jennings. And the curveball in there for a strike. And so after missing on the first pitch, Bedard right back with a couple of strikes, and it's 1-2. Cruz not happy with the call of Jim Wolf.
Well, this is a borderline pitch, and you know what? When you're in command of the strike zone like Bedard has been, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Curveball hit on the ground is short. Zobrist with the scoop and throw. So even when Bedard missed on the first pitch, he comes back to get the dangerous Cruz. Got ahead of him 1-2. Stayed with the curveball and got him on the ground ball. 2 outs here in the 7th. Chris Davis, the hitter. The fastball misses. 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball, and Davis misses it. 1-1. Boy, that curveball. So many of them under 70 miles per hour.
But to be able to throw it at that low of a velocity and still be able to spin it that tight, it's not an easy thing to do.
There's the strike, so he's back ahead in the count, 1-2 after missing on the first pitch. Two outs, bases empty. And he took a shot a little wide, 2-2.
We'll try to close him with the cutter away. 2-2, and
this one lifted to the left side. Zobrist, and now coming in is Geyer. And Geyer makes the catch and left. We're through 7. Rays lead 5-1. Is the place to turn before every slam, every goal, and every game with America's pregame only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tune in to America's pregame weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern Time only on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your cable or satellite provider, go to foxsports1.com. Left-hander T.J. McFarland on to work the 8th.
Well, he's on for the 14th time, and he has done his best work here in June. Ranked 2nd among American League relievers that have at least 10 innings pitched in June. He's got an ERA of .61, has given up just 1 earned run in 14 2/3 innings during this month. And I'll tell you, Buck Showalter's gotten pretty good work here out of his bullpen, trying to piece together this game after the Rays were able to chase Chen early in this game.
James Loney will open the 8th inning against McFarland. Rodriguez next, and then Forsythe. So the Rays started this game facing a lefty, and now another one in here. Loney 0 for 3. Takes a pitch inside. One and one. Only homered last night. Grounded out and a couple fly ball outs in this game. McFarland is ahead in the count. Two balls, two strikes. Only 3 out of 5 against McFarland, including a double. Has gotten the count even. And a tap off his foot. That's a foul ball. Saloni tries to walk it off, facing McFarland, who began his career in the Cleveland Indians organization. Got to the big leagues last year with the Orioles. Was in 38 games, including one start. Is out on strikes. One away in the 8th. Bust out your leg warmers and celebrate the 80s on Saturday, July 12th. The Rays play the Blue Jays, and then Joan Jett and the Blackhearts perform after the game, playing hits like I Love Rock and Roll and I Hate Myself for Loving You. Concert is free with that game's ticket. Visit RaysBaseball.com/concerts. Sean Rodriguez takes it into right field. Markakis back to the track with room. 2 gone. With 2 outs and the base is empty, the hitter will be Logan Forsythe, who carries a 3-for-3 day to the plate with him.
Impressive, but how he's gotten those 3 hits even more so. You can see the 2-run homer, a couple singles to go along with it, but I felt that he is really swinging the bat aggressively. I'd like to see him make it 4 out of 4 here.
The pitch is a strike around the knees. One. Forsythe hitting .229 this time in after the home run and 2 singles. It catches the inside part of the plate. And a 1-2.
If McFarland can do that again, this at bat's over. I don't know if you can hit that pitch. That is a nasty front door sinker down and into a righty.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Goes in there again. This one stays off the plate and runs the count full. That's Ryan Hanigan hoping to get a chance to hit here in the 8th. And ball 4 away. Forsythe reaches base for the 4th time, and that will get Hanigan to the plate. Hanigan 0 for 3 in the game. Chopped out to the shortstop Hardy in the 6th inning and made it a close play with his hustle up the line. Tapper fouled, strike 1. Rays scored a run in the 1st on Jennings' home run, 2 in the 2nd inning on the Forsythe home run, 2 more in the 4th on a home run by Kevin Kiermaier. Nick Markakis hit a solo homer in the 6th inning for Baltimore, accounting for all the scoring today. 5-1 Rays in the 8th. Tapper, that will be fouled and stay that way down the third base side.
A number of sinker ball guys coming out of this pen for the Orioles, and you know, I think a lot of it has to do with the ballpark that they play in. You know, this has the chance to be a real good hitter's park, a lot of carries. So your guys coming in out of the bullpen, you think about Webb, you think about Brock, you think about Britton, you think about here McFarland. A lot of good fastballs down in the zone with good movement. And you know what? You got a pretty good defense too. So, you know, try to keep that ball on the ground, keep your infield defense working. J.J. Hardy solid out at short. Machado down at third has been very good.
It's a ball and 2 strikes. Cut there. Just a little bit of that one. A little movement on that one. McFarland around 90 with the fastball and then the slider and the changeup. Down in the low to mid 80s. Forsythe at first, 2 outs, 1-2 to Hanigan. Up the right side, might be fair. That is a fair ball just inside the line. Hanigan heads to second as Forsythe rounds third, stops there, tries to get back and is safely back in on the quick throw back across the diamond. Forsythe diving safely back into third. Machado putting the tag on him on the double by Hanigan.
Well, here that is. Down and away. Ryan Hanigan stays with it. And this thing drops right on the line. Boy, you can see it kick up a little bit of white chalk right there. White paint, whatever it is. And then you see Forsythe. That ball, actually, Logan Forsythe should have been on a tear because there were 2 outs. No reason to look back to see if that's fair or foul. You just go. Umpires will let you know.
Second and third, 2 gone. Here's Kevin Kiermaier. Fastball, and he takes it for strike 1. Kiermaier had a base hit in the 2nd and his 5th home run of the year in the 4th. 2 for 3. Going to bunt and bunts through it. 0-2. Trying to drag that one up the right side. He's going to run home with that.
And he's got the speed to beat it out. And we've seen more and more of that from Kiermaier. That's been at least once a game here in the first 3 of this series.
is out on strikes. So the Rays threaten with 2 outs. Do not score, leaving 2, and they lead 5-1. Worked a perfect 7th inning. Set to move into the 8th, and that slow curveball's been so big for him today.
Big reason why. Here he's throwing it down and in. This one you're going to see down and away, getting swings on both. And then how about down middle for a called strike? Although you could argue this was called a strike, and he has been able, because of the fact that he's been effective with it throwing strikes, but he's been able to move it all around the plate. And that's what has led to that line. Most impressive being no walks.
J.J. Hardy leading off here for Baltimore, and the first pitch is a strike. His 18th first pitch strike of the day, and 24 hitters faced. And the curveball drops in for strike 2. Bedard worked 6 innings against Seattle on June the 6th. He worked 6 innings against Cleveland back in May on the 10th, and the time before that on May the 4th against the Yankees. The deepest he's gone this year. There's an opposite field base hit off the curveball, an 0-2 pitch. And the Orioles, for the first time in this game, put the leadoff man on base.
Now that's the worst curveball that he's thrown today. That was an 0-2 curve that stayed up in the zone. He's thrown the second one for a strike. This one much worse and easier for Hardy to recognize and get to. That ball stayed right up around the belt.
Bedard working into the 7th and now the 8th for the first time this year. Pitch is low. Curveball blocked by Hannigan. 1-0 to Manny Machado. Rays do get some action up in their bullpen. He's in the mid-80s in pitch count. Look at that breakout, 67 and 19. Down the left field line, that's got some carry and hits the foul pole. Home run for Machado. And just like that, the Orioles are right back in this one. Single Hardy, home run Machado, 5-3 now.
Well, Ryan Hannigan going out to have a word with Bedard after this offering. Machado just saws right through that pitch. A fastball in, boy, dropped the head, a rocket, and right off the pole.
Just fair down that left field line. Home run number 6 for Machado. Joe Madden asking for time before Bedard can start the sequence of pitches to Jonathan Schoop. Bedard, who has been so good today, touched for 2 quick runs in the 8th, and Joe Madden makes the slow walk to the mound before he makes the call to the bullpen. 7 innings plus 2 hitters in the 8th, and that's it for Bedard. He departs with a 5-3 lead. This 2-run home run has made this a 2-run ball game. It's 5-3 Rays. And it brings about a pitching change. Grant Balfour will take over for Eric Bedard.
Well, Grant comes on for the 30th time. And well, this Rays bullpen is going to need to come up big, because a game that seemingly was completely under control now is not. Just down to a 2-run lead for the Rays. Rays need 6 outs. Well, let's take a quick look at Eric Bedard's body of work today, and I'll tell you what, overall, you're thrilled with the outing. 3 runs in 7 innings. Boy, he was good, especially early, just mixing his pitches, staying in the strike zone, expanding it when he needed to, and just really working the fastball to both sides of the plate. Very good with the slow curve. Did give up that home run there to Markakis, and then after a base hit by Hardy, that home run by Machado, but still plenty to be happy about with Bedard's outing as he gets around to high fives from his teammates.
87 pitches for Bedard, 3 runs, 5 hits. And now it'll be Grant Balfour facing Jonathan Schoop. Schoop 0 for 2. Lifts a fly ball up the right side. Kiermaier on the run, and that ball is just out of play as he approached the stands. Just a few feet out of play. Good effort by Kiermaier. Balfour was in Game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. Pitched 1 inning. And the fly ball into center. Jennings waiting on this one, 1 away. Give Schoop 0 for 3. Now Joseph, the catcher, will be lifted. Delman Young will pinch hit. Young with 3 homers and 11 runs batted in 37 games, hitting .320. First pitch in there, a fastball around the knees. That's a strike. How about this? Off the bench, 6 of 12 this year. Ball, 1 strike. Darts down and away. 2-1. Foul ball will even the count. 2-2. In on him a bit, and he fouls that one out of play.
A little bit of a battle going on right here. And Graham Balfour, you know, he's been trying to build that confidence back, and he's been pretty good here his last 4 times out, covering 4 innings. He's given up just 1 hit, 6 strikeouts. Has retired the first man here that he's faced.
And this is low. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And we talk an awful lot when the Rays are in this position, but what Baltimore, all they want is to get the tying run to the plate. Markakis, who is on deck, has already homered in this game. Delman Young's done a heck of a job as a pinch hitter. He sits now here with a full count.
And a line drive, base hit. Takes a fastball right back into center. Young is aboard.
And now 7 out of 13. I tell you, you talk about a role that's not easy. It's that role. Coming off the bench cold, sure, you're working up in the cages and getting ready to go, but still a difficult thing to do. And that was a nice rocket up the middle by Delman Young.
Down, got a pitch. Gives him 2 for 8 lifetime against Balfour. And here is Nick Markakis. Markakis 1 out of 10. Now 1 of 11. Off Balfour. Grant got him on a ground ball to second yesterday. The pitch is a strike around the knees. The Rays would love that ground ball to second right now. Jake McGee up in the Rays bullpen. One ball, 1 strike. Bedard for 7 plus 2 in the 8th. 1 on, 1 out with Balfour on in relief. Shot the other way, foul. A ball, 2 strikes. Brewers got all 5 of their runs off the starter Chin. So the Baltimore bullpen has stopped the Rays the rest of the way so far to give Baltimore a shot, and now the Orioles have a potential tying run at the plate in the 8th inning. 1-2 the count to Markakis. And a bouncing ball that's going to go through the right side. Young stops at second. Markakis found the hole on the right side with that bouncer. 2 on, 1 out.
Now it's not getting any easier. You got Pierce, Jones, and Cruz due up. And right here, Markakis just rolls it over, and there's nobody there.
Jim Hickey on the phone out to the bullpen.
And Jake McGee getting ready as fast as he can. He is rapid firing down there in that pen.
There's Pierce. We've already chronicled how tough he's been against the Rays this year in the season series. Pierce doubled back in the first. He is 1 for 3. And a cut and a miss on the slider. Strike 1.
Now Steve Pierce is hunting fastball first pitch. That's what he sells out for, and Balfour gives him the slider. Wise pitch choice to get ahead.
Pierce granted time by Jim Wolf. Off the slider this time. 1-1. Balfour took it a little off the plate, but no chase from Pierce. One. Back and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Balfour got scoped for the first out. Went 3-2 to Young, who singled off a fastball, hit it up the middle. Markakis singled into right. First and second. 1-2 the count to Pierce. A nice block. Pierce did not offer, and the count is 2-2.
Yeah, really nice, because you got 1 runner in scoring position already. He doesn't get down there and smother that pitch, and there's a good chance you'd have 2. You have second and third here with just 1 out.
And plus, you still have a double play possibility right now.
Good Hannigan out there. Those legs spread, body in front. He does such a good job of that.
Two. Ooh, close. To him a fastball.
Yeah, I mean, everything has been away. Sliders away, 4 in a row, and he tried to pop the fastball in, and it was down. We've seen those borderline pitches, and could have.
Yep, sure could have. Three and 2. Balfour wants another baseball. First and second. Young second. Markakis first. 1 out. 3-2 the count. And a pop-up. Forsythe at second will do the honors on the infield pop. 2 gone. So with 2 outs, Adam Jones will be the hitter, and Joe Madden comes out of the Rays dugout with an eye toward the bullpen. It'll be a big matchup here. So Balfour faces 4 hitters, gets 2. Back in a moment. Two-run lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bedard gave up the 2-run home run to start it. Balfour came on, got 1 out, then the base hit to Delman Young and a single to Markakis before he got Pierce on the infield pop. And now it'll be Jake McGee. McGee, who got the save in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday, is pitcher number 3.
And we talked about in his 37 games, he's only been scored upon in 3 of them, more than a strikeout an inning. And this is your marquee matchup. Jake McGee, who's been so hot for the Rays out of the bullpen, against arguably one of the, well, not arguably, one of the hottest hitters in the month of June.
Well, Jones in the first game yesterday was 0 for 4, and Balfour got him the 4th time, and then in the nightcap he was 4 for 4. Nothing out of 3 so far now, and up here with 2 men on and 2 men out, and Jake McGee ready to go to work. First pitch, fastball by him, strike 1.
And that's what it's going to be, high octane. Adam Jones going to have to get it started early. And don't forget about Jake McGee's curveball.
Jones 1 of 7 against McGee. Ground ball right side, gonna sneak its way through. Throw to the plate. Young scores. Markakis goes to third, and it's a 1-run ball game. Jones just made contact and got it just out of the reach of Forsythe and into right.
Well, he goes away from Jones, We talked about it earlier. Adam Jones is hitting the ball where it's pitched. He's had tremendous plate coverage here in his hot streak, and he does it again. Down and away. Not a bad pitch at all by Jake McGee. Just a better job by Adam Jones. And then, of course, Delvin Young, 2 outs. He's running on contact, and he's going to get in ahead of the throw. Now just a 1-run lead.
5-4 ball game. Nelson Cruz. Cruz 0 for 3 today. And he takes a first pitch fastball for a strike. Cruz 2 for 4 in his career against McGee. A couple of base hits. Time called. Just as McGee was set to make the delivery, Wolf granting time and walking away from the plate. Rays coming that final out here in the 8th. Down and in.
Yikes.
97.
Yeah, not an easy pitch to handle either for Hannigan. Runner on third. Usually with Jake McGee, you're not worried about a pitch in the dirt or near it because he's mostly all the time fastball, but that one got close.
And he caught it up on the heel of the mitt.
Think about how easy that could have been to just rock it right out of there.
Fly ball center field. Jennings is there to make the catch for the 3rd out. Baltimore sends 8 to the plate, and they make it a 1-run ball game, 5-4. Closing the gap. Practice your jump shots with the Yunel Escobar basketball set presented by Sun Sports. The kids 14 and under while supplies last. This basketball set available when the Rays take on the Blue Jays Sunday, July 13th, as part of the Family Fun Day presented by the Tampa Bay Times. For tickets, visit RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Nick Hundley taking over for Joseph, who was lifted for the pinch hitter. Hundley now catching. And a new pitcher, right-hander Darren O'Day.
Well, he's on for the 33rd time and consistently doing good work for Buck Showalter in this bullpen. 1.41 earned run average in 32 innings. Just the 8 walks to go along with 29 strikeouts. Going to give you that extreme arm angle, tough on right-handed hitters. And he's a guy that really has the ability, because he can run the ball up in the zone too. He can give fits to lefties and righties.
Well, it will be the top of the order against O'Day. Desmond Jennings. And he bunts the ball right side. Jennings off the mound, and the underhanded toss to first to Davis retires Jennings. This bullpen has been in shutdown mode for Buck Showalter. The Rays got all 5 of their runs off the starting pitcher Chen in 3 1/3. Nothing since then.
Well, he's been running them out 1 inning at a time, and they've all been sharp.
There's been Zobrist. He's been 4 of 9 against O'Day. 1 for 4 in this game. Strike one, says Jim Wolf. There's a shot into right field. That will go back into the corner. Zobrist around second. He's going to go for 3. The relay throw on its way, not in time, and a triple for Ben Zobrist into the right field corner. His 3rd triple of the year. And boy, the Rays could certainly use that to try to build a little bit of a gap.
Well, you just see this ball right here, and Ben is able to just flip it down into the corner. Kind of like a fly ball that hits a couple feet fair, and once it rattles around in that corner, he's going to decide to go for it. See right here, really no sense of urgency by Markakis, and then you got to go follow it down into that corner where it kind of juts around. This would be a huge run.
Big at bat now for Brandon Guyer. Orioles pull the infield up. Guyer 0 for 3 with a sacrifice. Which is upstairs. A 5-4 ball game. Rays in the top of the 9th. Difficult that can be on a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, this was a swing by Brandon Guyer where he's feeling for the baseball, not swinging at it. There's a little breaking ball out there. You just see him out there just kind of trying to get that bat out to it. Well, he's gotten a good look at it. Maybe that will trigger something. Any extra pitch that you can see is going to help you.
He lays off this one up. 2-1. Yeah, adjust the sights a little bit and try it again.
Well, that's the tough thing, is picking up the spin. As a right-handed hitter, saw the fastball, 2 of them now that he's run up in the zone and swung and missed at that slider. You'd think that he would come back with that sweeping slider right here once again.
And a ground ball out to second, picked up there by Scope. Zobrist remains at 3rd. Contact made by Guyer, but to Scope.
This is a perfect at bat where O'Day wants to get Guyer out on the slider. And so he shows him a couple of fastballs, does get that out, ground ball to second base. And Ben Zobrist down there at 3rd, obviously not going on contact. And he's still down there.
Evan Longoria now. 2 out of 10 against O'Day. Evan 0 for 3 with a walk as the DH in this game. Takes a strike. Well, the Rays have scored 5 runs. They have 10 hits, but they're 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position in this game. Evan takes it away, 1-1.
Think about that, 3 home runs, and 2 of them coming with a man on first. So there are your runs, and that's not typical for the Rays to be popping home runs quite like that.
Cut to miss by Evan. 1-2. The slider from O'Day.
He keeps that pitch on the same plane, and it just makes a left turn.
Tried it again, and this time Longoria let it go by. 2-2. Zobrist at third. Rays trying to add to a 1-run lead. 2-2 the count to Longoria. And strike 3 call. Came back with a fastball. O'Day strikes out Longoria. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Davis, Hardy, and Machado do. Rays lead by 1.
Half of the 9th inning, Jake McGee looking for a 4-out save, and right after the game is our Rays Live post-game show presented by Checkers. We'll hear from Eric Bedard and Logan Forsythe. Joe Maddon's press conference, interviews from the Rays clubhouse, hosted by Rich Hollenberg and Ressus Estrada, Dwayne and B.A. with their thoughts as well. All that right after the game on Rays Live, guys.
All right, thank you, Todd. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning with Jake McGee out there. Chris Davis will open the bottom of the 9th for Baltimore. Rays lead 5-4. There's the breakout, McGee and Davis. McGee faced him yesterday. Struck him out on a fastball at 97 and starts him with one at 96. That's strike 1. Davis 0 for 3 in this game. Pitch is up. 1-1. and a miss. 1-2. The matchup here, McGee and Davis, and defensively, the Rays have Kiermaier about 90 feet off that right field line.
I mean, that swing right there, there's no way he's going to pull that pitch. And that's why you can afford to do that.
Up and away. 2-2.
That is a great look at the outfield alignment. Right here, you've got Kiermaier out there in right field. I mean, you can't even call that right field anymore. That's dead right center. But hard stuff away, not believing that Chris Davis is going to get the head out and pull it.
And it's wide, a fastball, he lays off, and it's 3-2. So it comes down to this 3-2 pitch to the leadoff man in the ninth inning, Chris Davis. He got him, struck him out, fastball in at 98. Yesterday got him 97. Today gets him at 98. One gone in the bottom of the ninth inning.
You know what? And truth be told, he would have got him 93. They're swinging Chris Davis right now, especially on hard stuff. There's just no way. There's too much going on in that swing right now, and Jake was able to get him. The thing that you were worried about, not any hit, it was the walk.
Here's Hardy. First pitch is a strike. In the first game yesterday, Hardy was the final out. He struck him out swinging. He's the second hitter in the bottom of the ninth in this game and fouls that fastball straight back. 0-2. Bedard, Balfour, and McGee. Todd mentioned McGee trying to get a 4-out save halfway there. And an 0-2 count on Hardy. He'll tap down to first, and Loney will take care of that, stepping on the bag. So 2 up, 2 down in the ninth. Base is empty, and the hitter is Manny Machado, who hit the home run down the left field line that made contact with the foul pole, and that ended the game for Bedard. So it's McGee and Machado. And the pitch a bit inside. Here's the 8th inning home run.
Well, he gets a fastball in and drops the head on it right off the foul pole, and that's what got things started for the Orioles.
One and one. Missed the fastball that time. Rays led 5-0 after the 2-run home run by Kiermaier in the 4th. The Orioles got a run in the 6th. They got 3 in the 8th. Foul ball back. Runs it to 1-2 on Machado. McGee got Hardy on a fastball that registered at 99. The 0-2 fastball, he grounded out to Loney. Machado fouled off a pitch that registered 99 right there. A ball, 2 strikes. Popped it up. Foul ball right side. Will it be playable? Loney to the dugout railing and on top of the dugout, and a big hop back into the stands. Count holds at a ball and 2 strikes.
Manny Machado obviously understanding with this velocity of McGee, you got to get it started early. And you're not really sure what side of the plate Jake's going to go to. You're figuring fastball. Is it going to be in? Is it going to be away? And that makes a big difference.
Davis struck out. Hardy grounded out. 1-2 the count on Machado. Up and away. 2-2. Now McGee on 2-2 and a foul ball again, a fastball. That one right back out of play.
What a catch. One ball in his left hand, and that went screaming back into the stands, and the fan barehands it with the right, and then shows them both. You win.
Fastball after fastball, that last one at 98. The 2-2, and a curveball got him. Struck him out. 2-2 breaking ball. And Machado strikes out Jake McGee.